Why do we struggle so hard with time management? Going to talk about it next on Pastor Bob's Coffee Break. Isn't that the coolest mug? Look at there. Bearded, ink, and awesome. My good friend J. Don sent this to me from Melbourne, Australia. Thank you so much. This has just become one of my very favorite mugs. Isn't that awesome? And look, compared to it's as big as my head. I know. And I got a big head. This is huge. And this is the kind of coffee I'm talking about. Can you imagine this filled with Headbangers Brew? Speaking of that, this show is sponsored by Headbangers Brew. And right now we've got, let's see, this is ground here, but we've got whole bean, soon to have decaf, and some other surprises as well. So all just this wonderful flavored, dark coffee that isn't bitter, and the proceeds go to help the homeless ministry, and the show is sponsored by this, our own coffee, Headbangers Brew. There we go. So here's the question for today. By the way, did I mention how much I love this mug? This is so awesome, isn't it? I have to put it over on the side because it's so huge. I know. Dear Pastor Bob, I'm horrible at time management. I've read all the books and I've watched many YouTube videos on the subject, but it doesn't seem to get any better. I feel like I am just simply wasting most of my time. Do you have any suggestions? I have tons of suggestions. In fact, if you've watched this podcast for very long, you probably already know some things that I'm about to say. You just didn't know they applied. So we've talked about a lot of things. We've talked about dreaming big. God is always dreaming bigger. We've talked about we don't have a problem, we have opportunities. Can I just run through these really fast with you, because this is the last day before the new one starts, well, on Wednesday. Dream big. God is always dreaming bigger. I am blessed to be a blessing. Every problem is an opportunity. This is the building. This is the church. Love God, love others, love you. Fight the battle before the battle. We've got some good posters. But you know, they all have one thing in common. And they all have to do with action. Doing something. Moving forward. And moving forward, like the first one said, with a dream. Dream big. God is always dreaming bigger. Well, what do you do with that in real life? You know, we spend so much time waiting to fulfill our dreams that eventually the dreams just fall by the wayside. And you have to ask, what exactly is it that you're waiting for? And that's a good question. What are you waiting for? Why don't you get busy? Well, a lot of times the dream seems too big, and so we don't know where to start. I get that. Chisel out a little piece of it, and then begin there, little by little. Or they used to say, inch by inch, everything's a cinch. But a little bit at a time, that's how you build things, and that's how you move forward. Now, folks, a lot of times in time management, we try to manage our time with things that we hate doing. I know. And number one, usually you're trying to manage something that you're not really called to do anyway. People ask me what I use for time management, and I really don't have any magic things. I just really like what I do. I wake up in the morning and I have ideas, I have visions, I have parts of the ministry that I can't wait to get to. This is one of them. I can't wait to share with you, and I have ideas from the time I get up usually. And this is one of those things that doesn't involve any time management. It's something I enjoy. Now, if you were to say, I need to manage my time so that I have more time to waste browsing on social media and playing video games, you'd probably have a pretty easy time with that, because that's what a lot of people do. And that's how they waste their time. And why is that? Because they like it. They enjoy it. It fuels their passion. It fuels their curiosity. It fuels something inside of them that gives them a desire to do it. Well, wouldn't it be cool if other areas of your life were like that too? Like the video game that you play all the time, that you felt just as compelled to do those things as you do to play your video games. Well, I have good news for you. There are tons of those kinds of things. And sometimes, well, because we're doing so much browsing and social media and playing so many video games, we never explore them, because we never get to the place where they become a possibility. But folks, here's the bottom line. When you love what you do, you'll always have time to do it. Because you make time to do those other things. It simply works that way too. So I guess my secret to time management, and I work hard and I work 15-hour days generally, and I try to cut back. I just can't, because I really enjoy it. I like what I do. And sometimes I'm a little too tired at the end of the day, but it's only because I'm old. But the bottom line is this, folks. When you love it and you love doing it, it's a passion. You don't have to use time management. Now, there are those days when I have to set priorities. And I have to say, from the time I get up, okay, there are some things I need to accomplish today. And I'll have to be honest with you, there are some parts of the ministry, of my job, that I don't enjoy so much. And so it takes a little more discipline to do those things. And a lot of it has to do with paperwork and, administration things. And I'm blessed to have great people around me, Nan, who is our administrator, and others who do just a great job. And so I am flanked on both sides by people who do great. And a lot of times they make me look good. You know what I'm saying? If you could ever look any gooder than this, I'm just saying. Whew. Okay. Back to reality. So this is the point, folks. A lot of people spend so much time procrastinating that they simply never get around to doing the things that are really in their hearts. And when you spend that time browsing social media, playing the video games, doing things that don't produce anything, it's wasted time. You will never get that time back, ever. It's time you could have been doing something else, but more specifically, it's time you could have been using to fulfill your dreams. So, this is the one I want you to see today. It's the first poster that we ever did, and it's the one I want to go back to today. Dream big. God is always dreaming bigger. That's a good one, isn't it? And folks, this is the one that you need to put on your mirror, on your refrigerator, frame it, put it on your wall. You can download it right here. WeareMetalWeareFamily.com, as you can all of our posters and get our coffee and all the stuff. But this is the bottom line, that when you dream big, and God's putting those dreams inside of you, then you will never struggle with a whole lot of procrastination again. You will be motivated. And I've watched so many people become so motivated once they catch on to that dream that God's putting inside of them. So I have tried to take Sundays off. Not very successfully, but I've tried. Usually Sunday mornings I do Skype in church, and I used to tell people that I did that, and they thought I don't understand that one. Now everybody understands it with the coronavirus. So, in other words, I Skype in, and they can see me on a screen, and I can see them from the camera there, and I speak to congregations in churches without having to travel, because I'm just not traveling that much these days. So I start Sundays off, and I'll many times do 2 church services. I've done as many as 3 in a row. So I do that a lot, and I speak to different groups during the week, Skyping in as well. Love that time with people. And but the rest of Sunday I try to relax a little bit, and then I go under the bridge with the homeless, and they're all things that I enjoy doing. And people say, well, you're not really taking a day off. And I'm thinking, this is a day off. I love all of this. And this is what I would do to relax any day, because it fuels my passion, and it's something that I'm very passionate about. Well, people say, well, what's the difference between Sunday and the rest of the week? Well, probably not a lot. I just go a little slower. And but you know, it's a great time to spend with people. Yesterday, by the way, was my mom's 90th birthday. Isn't that cool? She's 90, still trying to keep up with her. I know. She still makes out the menus and does a lot of cooking and works every single day with the homeless ministry. She's great at that. She still has the energy for it. She still does it. She still has the passion. You know, she is my biggest hero. And we had a barbecue here for her. Just so much fun. And just with some family, with some friends, with people that from the homeless ministry that help with the homeless ministry. And her sister was here, and her family. And it was just so great to be able to spend this time with everybody, and to celebrate her birthday. And I realized that, you know, the greatest thing about life is people. The greatest thing about my day is interaction. And those of you that are spending a lot of alone time, you know, with browsing the internet and playing video games and all of that, are missing out on one thing that's even better than all of that, that will fuel your passion even more than anything. And that is seeing people, real life, spending time with folks. What a great thing. So, folks, this is what the church is. I showed you the poster about the church. It's not a building, it's people. This is what it's like as the quarantine lifts and as we begin to engage again with real people, real time. Loving people, spending time with them, interacting with them. This is what it's all about. And when you begin to do that, spend real time in real life with real passions and big dreams, you will never have to worry about time management again. I promise. Because that's the key. So the question and the takeaway today is, what are you passionate about? What is that thing in your life, that dream that you have that needs to begin, that you need to fuel? What is that thing that you need to just chisel out a little piece of and begin to do it? And my advice for you folks is, do it. Just begin. Just begin. God will meet you. If he's put that in your heart to begin with, he already knows the path. Just begin. Well, God bless you. Don't forget, you are blessed. So go and be a blessing.